Hey guys, it's Drew again. Today I wanted to talk about one of the most classic and popular sets the Topps ever produced back in its vintage era. I want to talk about none other than the great 1956 Topps. So let's check it out. So the 1956 Topps set is one of the most popular among collectors of that era. It includes almost all the Hall of Famers. It's kind of overlapping some people that were going out, like Bob Feller and Jackie Robinson, but it also has new guys like Roberto Clemente, Sandy Koufax, Hank Aaron, and others. It's actually got the highest percentage of Hall of Famers to cards produced in the set, with 36, I think, Hall of Famers, with only 340 cards in the set, making the ratio less than 1 out of every 10 cards has a Hall of Famer on it. I'm going to show my Mickey Mantle here, and this is a great example. In fact, it's probably one of the most famous examples of this, and in the fact that it's got a big portrait shot, but it's got this action shot behind. And as you flip through the set, if you ever get the opportunity, some of the photographs that they used were just incredible. Now, this Mickey Mantle is an amazing catch. It's been shown that he actually didn't catch the ball. He was jumping up and looking over, but, you know, for the fantasy and the imagination of kids, they did put the ball in his glove. And what it got me thinking is, what other great catches? And I'm talking not like close plays at first or close plays at home, which there's a lot of those types of plays in the set. What other kind of catches were involved that were shown? So here's Mickey Mantle. It's probably the most, like I said, the most famous or one of the most popular cards. Another one, and I don't have the card in front of me, but I do own the card, is the 1956 Topps Roberto Clemente. What an incredible catch as he's running up, jumping across against the wall. The reason I don't have this card in front of me right now is I've actually built it into a display that I have of Roberto Clemente cards, which includes the 1956. But as I thumbed through the rest of the set, and when I did, I found other players, not Roberto Clemente and not Mickey Mantle, that had just some great catches. And as baseball fans, we can kind of picture what happened to this, you know. And so I just pulled a few out of the book that I have, and in these varying conditions, but it doesn't matter because it's still showing the great kind of ingenuity that the Topps designers had to put these in to really let the imagination of a kid, who a lot of kids, they didn't have TVs, they didn't see this, and a lot of people didn't get to see baseball in color, even if they did get to watch it on TV. So it sort of fuels the imagination of a kid looking at this card, hearing the play-by-play on the radio. Instead of just saying, he's back up against the wall and he makes the catch, you can actually visualize, oh man, he banged into it. You could hear it. And so I just picked some out. These are not in any order, but I wanted to show off a couple that really stood out to me. So the first one is Hank Sauer. And as you look at this one, he's up against the wall, he's making a catch, and you know, that could have been something as easy, just backed up and he kind of bumped into it with his back, or he was coming down. But either way, if you look, he's against a metal grate, probably a vent of some kind. They didn't put padding on the vents or anything. That probably was a very painful catch to him, no matter how fast he was running into it, even if it was a slow jog. But imagine trying to catch a ball, maintaining your presence to hold on to it, to stay on your feet while you're backing up into a metal wall. So I just think this is a great example of it. Another one is Jim Greengrass of the Phillies. And this one, it kind of shows... grab it here. This one, it shows him after he made the catch. So it was probably a running catch, you know, when he's full out sprinting is what I'm picturing. He catches the ball just before he runs into it. He does put his hand out to brace himself against the wall, but he still held on to the catch. So another great example of it. And another thing I really like about these is when they actually show the outfield advertising, which was so prevalent back in the 50s, as owners were just using anything they could to try to make money, including their outfield wall for advertising space. And this is a great example of it. So there's another one. Next, from the Cardinals, we have Bill Veron, and this one is a great example of him on a running catch. And this is interesting because it shows him, you know, up against. There's the chain link fence. There's a little bench behind it, so a dugout or something. This could have been in practice. It could have been in a game, but he's still running full speed, reaching up to catch the ball. You see the ball going into his glove. Did he catch the ball or not? I don't know. It could have been another one of those Mickey Mantle things where they just drew it in, but it still gives the imagination to a kid looking and being like, man, he made that catch after a full spring, running over and looking over his shoulder, trying to track the ball on the run and being able to get and to pull that in. So another great example of a great catch. Another one, which is interesting because if you think of this as an infielder, you'd be like, well, this is just a shortstop backhanging the ball. But it lists him as an outfielder, and you can clearly see he's in the outfield grass. But this is Gus Bell. And if you think about this, think about an outfielder running, and he has to cross over with his hand and catch the ball just off the grass. And this is a great picture of him running full speed, probably before he fell or sort of tumbled and rolled. I kind of doubt he stayed on his feet after catching like that. But in order to catch it like that, you know he had to be going running full speed. So great example of another catch made on the run, and this one with Gus Bell. Another one is Dave Pope. This is a great one. This one reminds me of the Clemente that I showed you before. Just full out run, full extension, way up in the air, his feet both off of the ground. It's kind of a gray background. You can't even really see what it is, some kind of a wall or a tarp or something. But the point is he's full out, up in the air, catching the ball, and again, probably on a full run. It just shows the athleticism that it takes to be a Major League Baseball player, no matter where it is. This is an interesting one, and I did this as an infielder. It's probably one of the only infielders I pulled, but this one is Al Dark, and it was the shortstop for the Giants. But, you know, how many times have we seen a fast line drive and a middle infielder jumps up to make the catch? We see it nowadays. It's impressive now. It was impressive back then, and he's just reaching up to make that catch. Maybe his eyes are not up, so his head is not looking at his glove or at the ball. So maybe he's already knowing, I'm going to catch this, and I'm looking back or running to first to see, can I pick him off leaning after I made this catch? I don't know, but it does leave into a little imagination for the looker to see what exactly happened right after this happened. Another infielder I've got is Freddy Marsh from the Orioles, and a great leap, you know. And whether he made this or not, I don't know, but he is full out, just like the one we showed a few minutes ago, both feet up off of the ground, full extension. In fact, not only full extension, but he's leaning back like this is going over his head. I'm picturing kind of a second baseman who's reaching up and trying to snag one from going out into right center field. But a great picture, a great catch. Or at least a try from Freddy Marsh. And I thought this was a really fun one. Here's another one from the Kansas City A's, Elmer Vasquez. And again, he's jumping up over the wall to make a catch. I think it's kind of interesting because what you see, what you can read is 2 feet. But of course, this is probably something like 342 feet is the distance to home plate. But it almost looks like a 2-foot wall that he's jumping over. And again, if you're running full speed, the wall is obviously short. It's only coming up to his waist at this height. You know, the possibility of him flipping over and going over the wall while trying to make this catch, again, just gives a good visual representation of what a kid might have looked at as they're listening to a ball game on the radio and flipping through their cards and seeing these players, they're either their favorite player from their favorite team or the guys from the other team that you can't stand or somebody they weren't even exposed to know as they looked and they see a catch like this and what it was able to picture. Another one, Roy Sievers from the Nationals. And this is a great one from the Washington Nationals, I'm sorry. And as he's leaning back again, full against the fence, right up next to the stands. And his back is to the ball, meaning he's facing it. And to be able to track the ball and try to make the catch. Did he make it? Did he not? I don't know. But he sure put in a heck of an effort trying to make sure he can get the ball into his glove. So there's another good one. And the last one I have, and like I said, these are in no particular order, is Jim Rivera from the White Sox. And this one is interesting because it reminds me of that Mantle. He's up against the wall. He's tracking the ball to make the catch. But this one you can actually see the fans. Most of the other ones, except for the Mantle, you don't see the fans in play. But the Topps artist decided to draw in the fans, probably in the original black and white photo. But he's got a great beat on it. He's got one hand on the wall steadying himself. He's tracking the ball with his arms. And then you can see this guy down here. You can see him with a brown suit. He's looking to catch the ball. I mean, how many fan interference plays have we ever seen in our life? And you know, did he catch the ball? Did he interfere? I don't know what happened. But man, what a great way to look at baseball and see baseball, the action game, the nonstop game, the full of excitement, the running, the catching, the moving that you can still imagine through baseball cards. And 1956 just does such a great job in capturing so many of those imagination and the feelings that a kid might have had, or even adults might have had. And I can just see, you know, sitting around a living room or on a front porch, listening to a game and flipping through the binder or not a binder, but flipping through a stack of cards and looking at these and how exciting it was. And while 1955 is so good, the fact that 1956 also incorporates the full picture of what was going on. There's so many great action shots and so many great action shots of catches or attempted catches in this set. I just thought I'd share a few with you. So is there any other cards that I missed? Is there cards that you think like, hey, what else? What did you forget about so-and-so? And there's a lot of great ones of plays at the plate, close plays at first, breaking up double plays, turning double plays, and maybe we'll do a video someday on all those. But as far as just a catch where it's just a player and the ball and trying to time their speed to the speed of the ball, and it's just the great physics and calculus that you don't even think about as a ball player trying to get to that baseball. I love it. I love this game. I love the cards that represent it. I love the 1956 set. Anyway, I just thought I'd share those thoughts with you. I appreciate it. I'm sorry about my voice, a little bit of laryngitis, but I'm doing fine. I appreciate everything again, you guys. Until next time, you guys be good.